All of Pittsburgh was shocked by the shooting at the Tree of Life Synagogue in Squirrel Hill. As the memorial to the 11 victims grew outside of the synagogue, so did our city's grief over the tragedy. It seems everyone struggled with what they could do to help with the healing, including our next guest. Pittsburgh Magazine editor Brian Hyslop says the magazine did something it's never did before for the December issue. They scrapped the issue as planned to create a new issue dedicated to the victims and the heroes of October 27th. Here you can see the new cover. Brian is here with us now to tell us more about this special issue. Good morning.
Good morning.
What an amazing effort to completely say we're throwing everything out.
Yeah, it was about a week before we were due to go to press, and we came in on that Monday morning and knew we had to change things up. We had to get rid of the cover. There was a really long discussion about what the cover should reflect, and in the end, when we were talking about the story, we thought just keep it as simple as possible, take everything else off of it except for just the word faith with the Star of David
on the cover of the magazine. And then inside, all of the stories kind of reflect the healing and moving forward. So tell us what people can find inside the cover.
So we reached out to 10 different faith leaders across a wide range of denominations and asked them just to write us a personal essay on reflections on what happened at the synagogue and how the city could move forward. We looked at faith as like not being just religious, but also just like faith in the community, and a lot of people reflect that too. Like you can still believe that things are going to be good here. You can still take from this the support that happened afterward. And there were like calls to action, a lot of really interesting responses.
And so what about this tomorrow panel?
So yeah, so we had already planned to do something on Pittsburgh Tomorrow, where we asked Pittsburgh visionaries and people to tell us what would make Pittsburgh better. And it really suited the faith package really well. And people gave us a wide range of responses, and including people telling us to reach out and be better neighbors to each other, figure out how to make our community more responsive and more friendly, and along with basics like fixing infrastructure and things like that as well.
So in the essays from these 10 faith leaders, what did you find? Was there a common message across the board?
They were very varied, but like a lot of people said not to be defeated by what happened. There was a large call. I remember the Wasi Muhammad, who wrote the piece representing the Muslim community, was talking about how if we let this be a setback, we don't take anything from these deaths, and then they would be meaningless. And to make them have meaning means we have to make ourselves better and improve and build, and know that we still are a community that's strong.
And so what was one of the biggest challenges of scrapping the whole December issue?
Besides the logistics of it, it was that we had to reach out to a lot of different people. So we had to put a lot of phone calls in and we were hitting people too in the midst of a really hard time, and saying, can you please take some time and write for us an essay that would respond. And one of the leaders of Dor Hadash, which was one of the congregations in the Tree of Life, agreed to do that for us and wanted a little more time, but of course we would give that, and wrote a beautiful essay about that community and how it was affected and what it plans to do going forward.
And I'm sure you had the whole staff on board because, like we mentioned just a few minutes ago, everybody was looking for ways to help or to be part of the healing process.
Yeah, it changed everything from our design layout to all the editors putting phone calls in to multiple people and talking. And it's one of those things where we were under a lot of time pressure, but you also have a lot of sensitivity, so you have to really combine those two things. So they were calling people, and at the end, we got some more responses than even what we intended, and we were like, well, we're just going to print everything we got. So, and then that's how we ended up with 10. It was really impressive how everybody was willing to come in and pitch in and help us.
I think a lot of people had a lot to share, a lot of feelings and emotions after that. You also went to the Carnegie International, and tell us about these models and what they're representing.
Yeah, so we've done fashion photo shoots before and some art things, but we thought, let's combine them this time. The Carnegie International is this amazing once every 4 years event, and there are Pittsburgh artists involved in it. So we thought, let's take a Pittsburgh fashion designer and have her models and show her designs in front of some of the amazing art at the International. And the Carnegie Museum was incredibly cooperative and excited to do this, which was really fun. So we scouted the locations, we walked around the museum and found a bunch of places to shoot these pictures, and then put the models in front of the art, and sometimes behind the art, and dwarfed by the art. So it was really trying to use this as a combination of saying, this isn't just about fashion, this isn't about art, this is about putting these two things together in Pittsburgh.
About messages. And this kind of ties into the whole faith issue as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, because a lot of the artists, it's interesting what they're trying to say, and we try to emphasize too a lot of the Pittsburgh people too in that, which is unusual. There haven't been as many Pittsburgh artists in the international, but this year there are some pretty prominent ones.
And so how has the staff been reacting once they saw the completed projects?
Yeah, it's funny when it came into the office, the actual hard copy of the magazine, and kind of we get early copies and hit our desk. Everyone was just kind of like walking around, like holding it and knowing it was really something different and special that we had never done in like our 50 years. Our 50th anniversary is next year, and
Wow.
so this is a really interesting and special way to end the year.
Thank you so much, Brian, and thank you for what you did for Pittsburgh Magazine for the December issue especially. Read more in the December issue of Pittsburgh Magazine with this simple yet powerful image on the cover. Simply says faith. It's on newsstands now and online as well.